The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost. Get up to $750 in cashback rewards each month when you sign up at edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at underdogfantasy.com. Promo code NBA SGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guys. Me, really real, villain real, Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. We're getting to that part of the season. We're getting to the Jamal Crawford 50-plus bucket part of the season. We're getting to the
Game 82 Peyton Pritchard.
Huh?
Game 82 Peyton Pritchard.
Oh, dude, yes. Like we're there. We are getting to that point of the season. I mean, the 76ers are full. They should have got them a vet. They should have got them a vet that could just come in here and dominate these games right here for them.
Can I pitch you my guy to monitor during the slate, during the actual upcoming few weeks here?
I would love to hear it.
Alfred Payton.
Yes, man. Yo, he had a 2020 game, not 2020, but he had 20 assists earlier this season. He had 11 the other day.
He had 10 assists last game. He had 0 points. He had 10 assists.
He's the best point guard on the freaking Pelicans right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Why do they keep starting Jose Alvarado? Put Alfred Payton back in the starting lineup. That's wow. As soon as you said it, I was like, yep. It figures Scott would have liked that because I peeped that too. This is the perfect time of the year where I love to see my guy Devin Vassell go off. This is the perfect time of the year where I love to see my guy Moses Brown go off. I don't even know where Moses Brown is right now, but if he's around, he can go off. Paul Reed, man, we could label a bunch of guys. Drew
Timmy's been good lately for the Nets.
Hey, who's the guy for the Hornets the other year that had a random triple double or something? It was a guard. Dude, I can't remember his name. It was some guard for the Hornets that just went crazy on the stat sheet. It looked like he was literally filling in for LaMelo. Can't remember his name though. Dude. All right.
Maladon?
I think that was him. I think, yeah.
I remember Maladon.
It starts with a T. His first name starts with a T.
Theo Maladon, yeah.
Yeah. He was hooping at the end of the year.
That's a name pull, by the way. I'm going to take full I'm bragging rights on that one.
Oh, no. That was a really, really, really good name pull. In fact, y'all might not know who he was talking, but Scott Studio Reichel. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, I appreciate the NBA having basically no action, so we could all focus on the college basketball game, title game tonight. But either way, we're still going to talk about the games. I know we're going to switch things up a little bit, though, for today. We're going to dive a bit more into some future stuff, at least talking about the outlook for some teams as the playoffs are around the corner. The seeding's still up for grabs. The Western Conference is absolute chaos from the 5 seed basically all the way through to the 8 seed. So we'll see what happens. Should be fun. But we are going to, once again, dive a bit more into some futures, or at least get into maybe some overreactions or maybe just some overall thoughts on some teams and their potential hopes in the playoffs. Yep. So
yeah, definitely. And I mean, we have some teams. We have a list. So we already have a list of teams that we like and teams that we don't like. We'll ask the chat if chat needs any clarification or our thoughts on any other team. We'll ask the chat and let the chat get their chance to throw those teams out there. Might as well do that now. But we got a couple of teams that we like and a couple of teams that we don't like. So we're going to get to our it's a love-hate list, I would say, Scott.
Yeah.
It's a love-hate list.
That's how you labeled it, so we can can just frame it that way. It's fine.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go with that. All right, we'll get to that in just a second, but first, got to make sure that everybody is tuned in to the Masters coming up this weekend. Masters on the way. I got to start taking in my yearly golf content so I can place a bet on the Masters. Because
I can remember the last time I bet on a golf tournament.
Scott, I this is before SGPN. This is before Sports Gambling Podcast. All of that. This is 2019. I am in Biloxi, Mississippi, at a military school, and Biloxi has casinos, all that. So I was like, man, the Masters is coming up. I want to bet Tiger Woods. I really, really do. I don't know nothing about betting. I don't know nothing about golf, but I want to put some money down on Tiger Woods at the casino. I tried to go over there to the casino and I couldn't get it done. I didn't know what I was doing and I ended up leaving.
Okay.
I'm getting on a flight going back to Biloxi because I left for the weekend, and I'm sitting in the airport and I'm watching Tiger Woods' final round of the Masters in 2019. And I'm like, dang.
I don't remember what the price was back then.
Oh, dude, I don't remember what it was, but it was something insane that I was really punching air. Like, and that's at that moment right there, Scott, was the beginning of my villain origin story. And I said, you know what? I need to figure out what this sports betting thing is. And I started doing research. Next year, full blown with SGP and making content. But that was my villain origin story, Scott. Me sitting in the airport saying I wanted to bet Tiger Woods in the Masters for no reason at all, and I had no reason to think Tiger Woods would win the Masters. And then sure enough, he won the Masters. I will never make that call ever again.
Yeah, so we had some golf betting in the apartment yesterday. My roommate was cheering loudly while I was recording yesterday, the MLB show. He was live betting golf holes. He was betting bogeys on golf holes because the weather yesterday apparently was horrible. And he hit like 2 separate plus 210s on bogeys. So, yeah, my roommate's been more involved in golf betting than I have, but there you go.
Oh, dude, that's such a great idea. Live betting golf holes. Who sucks?
I've done that before. If you take a birdie on a par 3, sometimes you get like 8-1, but of course that involves hitting a great shot actually off the tee. But
yeah,
he was just looking at bad weather, just going, oh, it's just windy like crazy. I'll bet the bogeys. And he ended up hitting 2 separate bets. So, yeah, I follow a little bit. I don't really bet that much. Sure, there's a live happened and took away half the golfers, so I kind of just stopped following that much. But, yeah, I always look forward to the Masters, though. Should be fun.
Oh, man. Really, really looking forward to it. And see something different. I'm gonna have to get some action. But yeah, I don't remember. It was a Hard Rock down there, and then there was another one that I tried to go to because they said you could bet the horse races over there, but it was so many people over there. I just got overstimulated and I left. And again, one of the worst decisions because what it starts on like a Thursday. I swear I was leaving out before I was leaving out. I was like, man, I should really go try to figure out how to place a bet on Tiger to win the Masters. Had no idea how to do it. And then I ended just getting on my flight and leaving and coming back. Sure enough, look at Tiger. Worst. I will never forget that. Every single time it gets to this time of year, I'll never forget that. I could have made some money and I didn't even know it. All right. I say all of that to say we're giving up to $30,000 in prizes and only a $25 entry fee when you go to splashsports.com/SGPN because we have a big contest for the Masters. Splashsports.com/SGPN. Tune in to the Golf Gambling Podcast, the Steffi Small Show, and the Bottom Line Bombs for all your Masters pick. And tune in to the NBA Gambling Podcast if you want to hear a random Masters story because there you go. I forgot that I was doing a read, Scott.
We all did. We had a good time. Though.
As soon as I looked back down at my phone, I'm like, oh, I was in the middle of a read.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's get into the postseason love-hate list. We got a couple of names here. We'll start on the love list whenever I find our thread, Scott. All right, there we go. So, we started. This was a complete 360. No, this would be a 360. Yeah, this would be a 360 because we were on the Warriors, we were out on the Warriors, and then we were back in on the Warriors.
I mean, to be fair, there was one main event that occurred which kind of reinvented the entire team. So I'm going to give us a pass for turning our back on them because the old iteration before the Butler trade was 100% screwed, and now they actually have life. So there you go.
I mean, just think about the different iterations of this Warriors team we've seen in 1 year. They started the year with D'Anthony Melton as their 2, and he was playing really well. And then he
got injured and he got traded to the Nets for Schroeder. And then Schroeder was awful, and they traded him in about a month.
Oh, dude, I forgot Dennis Schroeder was on that team. Dog, do you know how many people? If Golden State wins a ring, do you know how many people are getting?
A lot of people are getting rings. The Anthony Melton, come on down. He played like 4 games. Come on down.
Oh, I forgot Dennis Schroeder was on the team, and he was starting playing games for a little bit too.
Yeah.
Wow,
He was awful on that team.
I forgot he was on the team.
Yeah.
I completely forgot that was a thing. Wow.
That was their big move before the Butler trade.
It was. And I think that was the moment when that didn't work out. We were like completely out on the Warriors. Oh, dude, that's hilarious. Yeah. Okay, so the thing with the Warriors, and I'll give them a pass about last night.
I had the under. I'll give him a pass too.
Steph had 3 points. You didn't get any contribution from Jimmy. Draymond was just kind of out there. Like
He was in foul trouble the entire game.
and they really didn't have a response for the Rockets throwing out lineups of Şengün, Adams, and Jabari Smith Jr. Either 2 of the 3, or they actually had 3 of the 3 out there on the same court at one time, and there was no response by Steve Kerr. Like, he didn't have anything to do. What you gonna do? Go out there and tell Kevon Looney to multiply 3 times and guard those guys? Like, he really didn't have any option for when they went big. Like, they just got dominated on the glass. I think Şengün had a double-double. I think Jabari Smith and who was it? Steven Adams had like 8 rebounds apiece. Like, they were getting torched on the glass, man. There was no response. So
you said you're not panicking though, so I know
we're
high on the Golden State team, but just to ask, what do you think the ceiling of this team is? Is it a title? Is it a Western Conference Finals berth? An NBA Finals appearance? How high are you going with this team?
I think they can make the title game. I think they can make the title game, and then at that point, if you tell me that you got Steph and Jimmy in the title game, oh yeah, and maybe the Warriors is what Jimmy needs to finally claim a title. But I think that they can, if they sit there and they actually get a favorable draw, and hopefully it's not this Lakers Warriors thing in the first round, because I think that's a really, really good first round matchup. Hopefully those 2 teams get to beat up on some lesser competition, and we get some of those bottom feeders in the West out of here. But no, I think that Golden State, I'm back in on Golden State. And in the beginning of the season, I took a little bit of a future, and I said, hey, Golden State can find themselves in a title game. Like, Steph Curry can have an amazing year. They could find themselves all the way here. And now they made the moves, the personnel, where they actually have good decisions. They just got to get Steve Kerr to play the guys right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to panic too much about yesterday, but it does point out a flaw that this team does have, which, once again, they play to their strengths because they've been going small for years, but they are dangerously small. And Draymond had 5 fouls with like 10 minutes to go in the third quarter after that flagrant was called. So I think at the end of the day, you're looking at Golden State having a serious edge when it comes to playing small when other teams go small. But if you have teams that basically triple down on bigs and you see Curry having an off night,
oh yeah, dude,
they got problems. And we'll talk about the Rockets in a second. I'm high on the Warriors. Will I pick them to win the Western Conference? No. But I think that their ceiling for me is the Western Conference Finals. The problem is, right now, the seeding that we have for the Western Conference is crazy. So you have the Nuggets, the Clippers, the Warriors, the Timberwolves, and the Grizzlies. So 4 seed to 8 seed, they're all separated by half a game. The Golden State might be a playing team, and we just don't know it yet because you have so much uncertainty with those seedings. So that could be a problem too. I trust Golden State, though, going into an opposing environment, getting a road win, maybe even stealing home court early in multiple series if needed. But I do think they have a bit of a problem because I do question how many different lineups they can really roll out there that you feel good about. Because they have their Draymond at center lineup, which has been their great lineup. Is that it? Like, Looney's their only counter to anybody with size. They really don't have any other plan B.
I was about to say, when you bring Looney and Kuminga off the bench, I think that it's cool. But like after that, like, yes, they have talented players, but it's like it doesn't really fit. And it's like, what are you doing with Post? Who is Post to you? Because they didn't use him at all. They didn't use him at all. They didn't, but they haven't used him at all against the Rockets. Like they like, if there was ever a game to roll Post out there, that was the game. They don't trust him at all. What is he to you?
Guy can shoot, but once again, you have a lack of size on the interior, which can give you problems in this matchup, or maybe even against Joker. And you're going to have to throw out Looney, I guess, for extra minutes, or hope Draymond holds. We'll see what happens, but I do think the lack of size will eventually be this team's undoing. I'm curious how far they're going to get
the
before that
matchups.
happens. But, I mean, the rebounds were close yesterday. But I do feel like at the end of the day, the Rockets just got a bunch of easier looks. At least it felt that way over the course of the game. I mean, they outscored the Warriors 56-40 in the paint, and they won by 10.
Mm-hmm.
You win by 16 in the paint, you're in good shape. So we'll mention the Rockets in a second. I like Golden State. I wouldn't say I'm picking them to win the title or anything. But if they won the West, I would not be shocked. I would not pick them to beat the Cavs. I would not pick them to beat the Celtics. I can see them giving the Thunder some problems potentially. I mean, Hardenstein and Chet would be problematic for this team, but Golden State's kind of owned this franchise for decades. So I think that's interesting. Golden State, I think, is a very solid team, but they do have some glaring holes that I have to at least mention.
I think that Golden State is all matchup based. They can get a horrible matchup early and be out quick, but I think if everything falls their way, I could definitely see them in a title game for sure. All right, let's see who's next on the love list. This is in no particular order. I was just going off of as we were talking. The Chicago Bulls.
I was going to say you can maybe merge this one with the next one, but you basically have Eastern Conference play-in teams.
Yeah, a couple of Eastern Conference play-in teams here. We'll talk about first about the Chicago Bulls, who have been red hot after trading Zach LaVine and
again.
DeMar DeRozan.
He got injured the year prior; they were good. Now they finally traded him, and they're good. So
yeah, and so the ball's moving. They're going up and down the court. They've completely handed the offense over to Giddey and Kobe White. And
Kobe White is such a bucket, by the way.
Yeah, they've been amazing. Like it. Yeah, you have moments where they don't play a lick of defense, but you also have moments where they'll do what they did the other night and score like 130, 140 points. So, I mean, I wish I could tell you how they continue to do it. I don't really know. I'm fine just continuing to back it. I think we're pretty solid on when we get to the play-in round. The Bulls are one of the teams that we are going to be rooting for. I mean,
I am. They're fun to watch.
So we can talk about it. The East playing teams, you've got Orlando, you got Chicago, you got potentially Miami, and what was it, Atlanta?
Yeah.
So some order of those teams.
Right now, for seeding purposes, Orlando's one game ahead of Atlanta, Atlanta's one game ahead of Chicago, and Chicago's one game ahead of Miami. All four of them have been officially clinched into the play-in.
So
the only thing left is for seeding.
So now we see what order, who's at home, who's on the road, who plays 2 games, who might have to only play 1. We're going to wait, and we're going to see exactly how this stacks out. But if we looked at it right now, so what is this? Orlando and Atlanta, that is worst case scenario. We don't want to see Orlando and Atlanta go up against each other. We would much prefer to split, because I'm going to just go ahead and jump into team number 3. We also, for some reason, like Miami. I haven't necessarily figured this one all the way out, but Miami has somehow, some way reared their ugly heads into the love list of, man, we see this team in a play-in, and there's probably going to be a little bit of problems here.
Just to be clear, we're only talking play-in. We're not picking Miami to give the Celtics or the Cavs a serious run for their money. That's not what we're saying.
No.
But I think we're low on Orlando because this team can't score. I know Paolo, of course, is very solid, and Franz is too, but this team just can't score. So I have a hard time trusting them. Atlanta doesn't guard anybody. They won yesterday, but they gave up like 130 to Utah, benching half the team. So I'm not going to bother. They got killed by the Knicks over the weekend with no Brunson. I'm just not interested in Atlanta. I actually gave them out to miss the playoffs last week at plus 330. It's down to plus 140. So we'll see what happens, but I'm not high on Atlanta. You could argue that the Bulls right now are a better version of Atlanta. Can we say that?
Yeah.
Pretty similar, but I like the multiple options the Bulls have. It's not entirely the Hawks' fault because they got Jalen Johnson, who got injured. They did ship off Hunter, who's been very good for Cleveland. I'm not high on Atlanta. So the point is, if we're looking at Atlanta or Orlando or both slipping, there's a chance the door's open for either Chicago or Miami to steal a spot despite not having home court.
And they're gonna rule each other out at some point. Last few games of the season, Orlando and Atlanta play each other twice, home and home. starting on tomorrow. So 2 really, really big games. That's gonna wheel things out. But yeah, we've pretty much locked in the 2 teams that we're trying to see out the play in, Chicago and Miami. Perfect. I was perfectly fine with that.
If you
More or
wanted,
less for
sorry,
me.
if you wanted updated odds, by the way, the Heat to make the playoffs is plus 194. Bulls to make the playoffs is plus 210.
Oh, dude. Yeah,
So.
I love being on the right side of that. So my thing with Miami is we're going to catch them as a dog. And then at that point, it's going to be hard for me to fade them. Like,
Yeah.
they're more than likely going to be a dog in the rest of the situation. They probably, honestly, I mean, Miami's last couple of games, they got 3 games left. Bulls, Pelicans, Wizards. Oh, well, that
I mean,
Bulls
today
game,
is basically a bye, but they play the Sixers today.
yeah.
So
You see, I ain't even
no,
think
but I'm
about playing.
saying like they're favored by 14.5.
Didn't even pay that game any attention. All right. We got a couple of hates here. Had a couple of teams that we like, and we could potentially add to those. Throw out a team name, somebody you want to hear about that, and we could say, "Oh, I do like them more than I think."
Well, you have a list of hates, but I do want to table or at least discuss the first one on the list because they had a great week.
Oh, yeah. We'll get to that in just 1 second. Let me talk to you about Edge Boost. Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for sports bettors, and you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card over there at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstakes site, whatever it is. Doesn't matter. Use your Edge Boost card to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook. Best part is no credit checks and completely free. Do yourself a favor. Sign up today over there at edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by mybookie.ag. You can bet every single sport, including the Masters, over there at mybookie.ag. Plus, you can do props for the games, and they accept a ton of customers from a whole bunch of different locations. So go check and make sure you are supported. Easily deposit and get lightning fast payouts with cryptocurrency. Head over to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match and up to $1,000. So head over to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 over there at mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. All right. So we got a number of hates. Shout out to us for having the first name still on the list, even though they just had a great past 2 games, but we're still down on the Houston Rockets.
Well, I'm willing to talk about it because I still don't think I trust them, offensively speaking, in a 7-game series. But what they did the last 2 games was incredible. You can argue that's 2 of the best defensive performances we've seen by any team all season long. So, for reference, they beat OKC, who was in the middle of a massive winning streak, by 14. They gave up 2 free throws to Shea in the entire game. Dillon Brooks didn't even play. I know people can make fun of Dillon Brooks. He is a good defensive player. He didn't play, and they still only gave up 22 to Shea on 22 shots. So, once again, Shea was in jail, basically, for the entire game. Then they go up against the Warriors, and Curry scores 3 points in the entire game. And Curry, for reference, before the 1-for-10 shooting game, had scored 52, 37, and 36 in the last 3 games. And Houston beat both those teams by double digits. So I at least want to talk about Houston because whatever lineup they're using with Steven Adams and the different options they have lineup-wise, whether it involves going smaller, whether you want to go super big with Adams as well with Şengün, they have some options here. And to be honest, I'm not picking them once again to make the deep run, but I'm more open to the possibility than I was last week because you beat up on 2 of the hotter teams in the conference, teams you might actually play against in the playoffs. And we'll focus on the Warriors for a second. That lineup with Adams and with Şengün, that's a real problem for Golden State. That's a serious problem. So I want to ask you about the Rockets because I don't trust them offensively late in games, but I do think that this team, with the depth they have and the variety of players they have, in terms of different lineups, how they can mix and match, they're a very unique team that offers unique issues to a lot of other teams in the Western Conference. Do we agree on that?
Yeah, and I think I was higher on them at a point, but that buys you a round, maybe. I think that buys you, especially as a 2 seed, that buys you a round.
A round's not even bad. I think they were going to be dogs in the first round, depending on who they play against.
Yeah, no, I think again, the West is so compressed that we have to come back and look at this again. But like, I mean, I think that it was a great game plan for a game to go get a win. But I don't think, one, they're going to be able to play that level of defense on Steph over the course of an entire
Curry's not
7-game
going 1
series.
for 10 again in
Yeah,
a series.
he's not. So I don't think he's going to be able to do that over the course of an entire series. I think that give Steve Kerr the adjustments and the time to little play around in the series, that he can find something to combat that lineup that makes them competitive. And then if they put themselves in the game again, and it's a close knit game in the fourth quarter in any of these games, I just think that the Warriors are going to pull away every single time. I don't trust the Rockets in the fourth quarter. When it comes to crunch time, we need to figure this thing out, especially against a team like the Warriors, who play such good defense on Fred VanVleet, really good defense on Jalen Green on a regular. And so defensively, I think the Warriors also step up a little bit more. And so I don't think that they want to just run back and see the Warriors. I think this is a sell high on the Rockets right now. They're playing really good ball right now when they're playing these teams in one sole game. But I think get them into a series, let the opposite coach make adjustments. And yeah, Ime is going to be good and he's going to make his own adjustments and he'll make it competitive. And they'll probably come out of a first round game. But the second round, I don't know.
I still think it's very matchup dependent, though, because of how close the seeding is from 4 to 8, basically. Like, would you pick the Rockets against the Clippers in a playoff series? I don't think I would.
Yeah, I don't think I would. Not Clippers.
Would you pick the Rockets over the Would you pick the Rockets over the Timberwolves?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Would you pick them over the Warriors? The answer is no.
No.
For you. Would you pick them over the Grizzlies?
Probably. They dominate the Grizzlies this year.
I think I would too. So, once again, we picked 2 out of 4 teams we can see them beating in the first round. And I feel like last week we thought they were kind of a dead team walking. I'm not saying they're going to make a deep run. That's not what I'm saying. But I do want to give them their flowers. Because against 2 top-tier teams over the past week based on form, home or away, they showed up and they buried those 2 teams.
And they deserve it.
I want to give a shout-out to Houston.
They 100% deserve it. Yes. But this is the sell high. I believe.
Yes, but I thought they were the biggest winners of the weekend.
For sure.
That's how I look at them.
All right. Yeah. Oh, no, definitely. That's what made it hard. And we went ahead and started that list with them. Let's go back to the Eastern Conference. Well, no, let's just finish out the Western Conference. Nuggets. I'm pretty sure this. I think this answer, like after the past week or so, I think they pretty much showed everybody why they're on the hate list.
I've been calling for it for months, and people gave me a hard time about it. And I know the argument is Murray's been injured and Michael Porter Jr. hasn't played.
Nah, man,
that's not a shock. I mean, we've seen these guys be injured before. Murray, when healthy, we know is solid. The problem is he's not as healthy as you hoped he would be. And they didn't do anything to address the bench issues for this team besides signing Westbrook late. Now, Westbrook, for what they paid him during the offseason, has turned out to be a very good signing in the grand scheme of things. The problem is there's a lot of negativity that does surround Westbrook's game, mostly the, I'd say, lack of basketball IQ, if we're being honest here. I mean, he was brutal in that game against the Timberwolves down the stretch. We all know about it. He was brutal late in that Spurs game, the game after. He had a great stats game, but in that fourth quarter, he was a mess. And I feel like the argument that you run into is that if you cannot use Westbrook...
Hey, he cost them the Timberwolves. That Timberwolves game was just...
That's really one of the worst sequences I've seen by a Hall of Famer in a long time.
It like the two points of the sequence quite literally lost in the game. And I mean, like, again, it's team sport. You say all this other stuff played into it, but like I saw with my own eyes those two things, like, oh dang, he smoked the layup. Oh, he fouled the 3-point shooter.
Yeah, he did the double whammy in the final 10 seconds. But the point is, Westbrook is really the only bench guy though that feels like he provides any energy. Like they're going to rotate.
Oh, they have anybody else on the bench?
They're going to rotate.
Like bring in Westbrook.
I was going to say they're going to rotate a little bit of Watson. They might throw in a couple other guys, but in reality, offensively, I don't see any shot creation. I mean, Strawther gave him something. He's injured, so that's not even a factor anymore. But Denver's a team that, yes, I know when Murray's back and Porter's back, you're going to argue, well, they're dangerous. Are they? They can't guard anybody. And Joker puts up monster games, and they're still in sweats. Like, for example, Joker in the span of the last week had a 60-point triple-double and a 45-point triple-double, and they lost both games. Joker this past week averaged 45 points per game, 12.3 rebounds per game, 10.7 assists per game, and they went 0-3. They didn't win a game. They went 0-4, actually, because Joker sat the game against the Spurs. He averaged a 45-point triple-double over the course of a week, and Denver didn't win a game. Halliburton scored 9 points yesterday, and they still lost to the Pacers at home. I mean, what are we doing here?
It's pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty bad for Denver.
They'll look better when the injured guys come back, but damn, I hate this roster construction with a passion.
I've realized that after this game with the Pacers that you could run down the list of playoff teams that they could run into, and there's not a single team that I would sit there and say, well, I'm not going to say not a single, but like, there's not many teams that I'm going to sit there and say, whoo, I just love them Nuggets, man. No.
You'd argue that
I don't trust this team.
You like any team, I guess, against Memphis, maybe based on form, or Sacramento and Dallas we can dismiss because I don't think that they're worth it.
And because Memphis fired their coach. Like, if they still had Jenkins, I still would have got to the playoffs and been like, all right, they're going to turn it on here. But no, they fired the coach. I'm out on Memphis all the way.
So that's kind of my point, is that you know that there were a couple of weak teams there in the play-in that I think Denver could beat in a potential matchup. But Denver is not going to get the 2 anyway. So right now, Denver's looking at most likely, I'm assuming that Memphis is not going to end up in the 6 or 7. You're looking at either the Clippers. Right now, Denver's the 4, actually. They have the Clippers in the first round, or Golden State, or Memphis, or in theory, Minnesota. I don't feel good about the Clippers. I don't feel good about the Warriors. I don't feel good about the Timberwolves. They got 3 bad matchups that they might have to deal with potentially in the first round as the 4 seed.
It's not OKC. They're going to play one of those 3 teams. Like they're going to.
And I don't see them beating OKC in the second round either. I think Denver's got a lot of problems.
Yeah.
You could argue, though, that's why Joker should arguably be MVP anyway. It's because you look at the rest of this team besides Joker, and I don't know how the hell they're the 4 seed. Like, I don't think this team's any good.
The league's bad, man. The league is bad.
Yeah, but you get what I'm trying to say, though. So
yeah.
Denver's a team I've been out on for a long time, at least compared to most people. I understand they've been shorthanded. Joker can't give you any more than he's been giving you, and you're still punting these games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't take Denver seriously. I think they might lose in the first round.
JT Max said, who do you think will try to avoid a matchup? I think Denver will do everything possibly they can to avoid the Timberwolves. Any possible. The Timberwolves is by far the worst matchup for Denver. They cannot beat that team.
Yeah, they're 0-6 in the last 6 meetings, including the playoffs.
They can't beat that team. I think if Denver looking and see the Timberwolves move up to 6, they're doing whatever they can to make sure that they stay at 4.
I mean, it's tough to figure out a team they want to potentially avoid because the alternatives are the Clippers, who have been really good lately, assuming Kawhi's healthy, and Golden State just killed them over the weekend. So, I don't really know what Denver wants for a matchup. I hate their matchup against all 3 of those teams.
Ready to 1, 2, 3, Cancun.
You'd argue Golden State because of the lack of size. Then you got to deal with Curry and Butler against that defense and have fun with that. I don't know who you'd want to face.
Or is it 1, 2, 3 Serbia?
Could be just horses.
Yeah. But horses on 3.
I feel bad for Joker though, because Booth sat there at the trade deadline and did nothing. When they have actual cap space to make moves, and they have no bench scoring at all. They have the 3rd fewest bench points in the league. So Denver's a team I'm very out on. I think this team's got a lot of problems.
All right. Let's close out with our Eastern Conference teams that we hate. And we could throw these teams in the same bucket because, I mean, gosh, they don't inspire any confidence at all. But the Indiana Pacers and the Milwaukee Bucks are 2 teams that the worst case scenario is that we actually get a first round series that is Milwaukee and Indiana again.
Milwaukee's right now 1 game ahead of Detroit, so we do have this matchup right now.
Let's not say it out loud. Let's take back that energy. We are going to...
I'm trying to jinx it.
Hell yeah, I would love for you to.
Detroit does play tonight though, so that could be half a game. So we'll see what happens. But
we cannot have that for. Oh man, what a waste of a series if we get the Indiana Pacers and the Bucks, man. Because neither one of those teams is a team you trust. Both of those 2 teams are a team that could lose in the first round to the Knicks and Detroit if they run up against each other. Like, why? Don't waste our time with that. Please don't waste our time with that. It's very simple to me who's going to be in the next round of of the NBA playoffs for the East.
I mean, just to ask though, in a hypothetical series that we don't want, I'm taking Indiana, right? Without knowing
Wait.
if Dame's going to play. I think you have to, right?
Yeah, but
Giannis will average like 30, 15,
that's what I'm
and
saying.
like
What if
7,
Giannis goes another level of that and averages just 40 and muscles out? Like, Indiana's that bad that they could lose a series to just Giannis.
They can, but the problem I ran into is watching Milwaukee over the weekend. They beat Miami, good win. Hero didn't play. Giannis had like 35, 15, and 10, and they still went to overtime. And Hero
Oh,
didn't play.
dude, and then the next day, Giannis doesn't play against the Pelicans, and they're
They're in
going
a dogfight for like
yeah, they're
3.5
going
quarters.
toe to toe with the Pelicans for 3 quarters, man. Like,
And you got Doc Rivers in there for a playoff series.
okay, so this is how this ends. If it's Indiana and Bucks, we just take Indiana in 7.
I think I go Indiana, especially if Dame doesn't play. Because you have Giannis and Kuzma, and you're hoping Bobby Portis comes back and immediately becomes impactful again. So I like Indiana more than Milwaukee. I can't stand Rick Carlisle. I can't stand Carlisle late in games. But I think Doc Rivers is worse. So I'll go with Indiana out of the two. But once again, I think that their ceiling for both teams is a second-round exit. Because neither one of them are beating Cleveland.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, if we can get the right matchups, the final 4 for these: Cleveland, Boston, New York, Detroit. Like, Detroit can make us a lot of money these playoffs if we just get a matchup between the Pacers or the Bucks.
Detroit would be fun.
Feel comfort.
I still think it's Cavs Celtics almost guaranteed in the conference finals. The Knicks get blown out by those two teams every time they play.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's going to be the actual matchup in the conference finals. The Western Conference can be anybody's. The Thunder, I know, are the common choice and they're favored to win by a decent amount, but you could convince me the Thunder are playing like 4 different teams in the conference finals, and I'd probably agree with you.
Yep.
So there you go. Eastern Conference is more straightforward as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Let's get into the 2 games actually being played tonight, Scott.
And you want to read before that?
Yeah. We're about to get to a read right now. We got Underdog Fantasy. Tap into Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. You can play any sport and win up to 100x. Oh man, Scott. I mean, the women's Final Four and the women's national title game over the weekend just ended. We had some good games, except for the games that included UConn. And dog, the draft is next week.
Yep.
And then we're going to be having WNBA. They're going to start adding the WNBA lines to Underdog, and we're going to be giving out those Underdog WNBA lineups all summer. Scott, I stopped keeping count at one point because I felt like we were being disingenuous, but we definitely hit more Underdog lineups than we lost, which is crazy because they're plus money each time.
I don't know about the number of like hits and misses, but I know we definitely were profitable by a wide margin last year.
Dude.
I mean, every entry was like 5 or 6 to 1, so we were.
And it was like it might have been a couple entries a week here.
Yeah.
Like it was really, really good stuff. Like we were great. So, no jinx, by the way, not jinx. Just new year, go into it. I have a number of plays that I'm getting ready to fire on, and I can't wait to share them with everybody. But just know, it's not going to be a surprise in the national title game for college next year. It's not going to be a surprise in the championship game for WNBA next year. It's not going to be a surprise. I'll say that. So with that, make sure you lock into Underdog Fantasy. Get down on the WNBA when it starts. NBA playoffs is around the corner. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN, and you can get a special pick and deposit match up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Predict, bet, dominate with Rhythm. They have a whole bunch of cool stuff, and they keep adding, Scott. They continue to add. Now they're live with Major League Baseball. You and the Major League Baseball prop show have been doing really, really good with Rhythm. Shout out to you. Shout out to Adam. Keeping it going there. They got picks for the Masters this weekend, people. Make sure you tap in with that. NBA as well. So go build your own model. It's really, really simple. It's really, really easy. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And I'm not tech savvy at all. So sign up with the link, 7-day free trial, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. All right. 2 games in the slate. One I feel good about. The other I do not care at all.
Okay.
The Sacramento Kings are going on the road to play the Detroit Pistons. Pistons are laying 7. I will admit, slightly concerning. This line has dropped. I've seen it start at 6.5.
It was 6.5 last night. So
I watched it get up to 7.5, and then I'm looking at it now back down to 7. 230.5 is the total in this one. Injury report, and we have Jake LaRuvia has been ruled out yesterday. So we'll see if he's able to play. He's still dealing with that thumb injury. And then Keegan Murray also didn't play yesterday against the Cavs. He was ruled out with the back injury. We'll see if he'll be able to go.
and they won anyway.
Yes, they did. They did beat the Cavs. It's 10-point dogs at that on the road.
The second
Jalen
time
Duren-
they beat the Cavs, right, in the last month, I think.
Yeah. Jalen Duren, questionable Monday with a leg injury. We've got, who is this? Tobias Harris, also questionable with the heel injury. He could be missing his 3rd straight game. Okay, Scott, we was talking over the weekend, and after Detroit clinched the playoffs, you said we got to bet Memphis. And while I was very much against that, because again, I'm thinking long term, and I'm thinking about this first round series that we just can absolutely not get Bucks Pacers again.
I was solely focused on the hangover.
I mean, if you think about the Pacers' recent playoffs, haven't they it's just been the Bucks and the Knicks?
Yeah, pretty much. And there were injuries involved in both.
It's very annoying. Very annoying. I'm tired of seeing Pacers, Knicks, Pacers, Bucks. No.
That Pistons hangover game, though, fed families.
Oh,
as far as
yeah,
I'm
it
concerned.
did. It very much
Shout out
did.
to Desmond
Even with
Bane, by the way.
Ja. Shout out to Ja being ruled out 10 minutes before the game and them still getting the win.
Bane carried. And shout out to Edie, by the way, 21 rebounds.
Yeah, T-Rex arms.
Yep.
All right. So, with that, this is where we get back in on the Pistons here. You get the Kings, who are on the second leg of a back-to-back. The Kings have been horrible on the second leg of a back-to-back over the course of the entire season. You get the Pistons coming off of that horrible letdown spot, looking to get some get back, looking to build some momentum going into the playoffs. They need to win games. They have to win games. They are trying to move up in seeding. They can move up to the 5 seed. So this is the opportunity for them here. You have the Kings, second leg of a back-to-back, 4-11 straight up, 3-12 ATS. They are 9-6 to the total. Opponent's team total 13-2 this season on the second leg of a back-to-back. They have been horrible on a back-to-back all season. They can't defend. They struggle scoring on their own right. Their opponent goes over their team total on back-to-back, Scott, 13-2. They are 6-9 to their team total on a second leg of a back-to-back. They can't score. They haven't played well in basically any of these games. This is an amazing get-back spot for Detroit. I mean, bury the lead here. We know what the lock's going to be. It's Detroit in some way, shape, or form here. Give me Detroit laying the points. Give me Detroit team total over. I think Detroit's going to come in here and destroy the Kings, coming off of a massive win on the road against Cleveland, man.
Yeah, it is an important game for the Kings, too, because they have not officially clinched a play-in spot yet. They're going to because the Suns are horrible, but they haven't officially clinched it yet, so we'll see what happens. But you said before, Kings are terrible on a back-to-back. The Pistons, though, the one thing that scares me is the injury report. I'm not surprised they sat some guys in that Grizzlies game. Cade came back, though. Thought he looked pretty good. But you saw no Tobias Harris, and you ended up seeing no Duren. The Duren piece is the big piece because they were using Isaiah Stewart at center. They got manhandled on the boards against Memphis. Memphis out-rebounded them by 20. Memphis had 64 rebounds.
Yeah.
Like, that's why they won the game. It was because Edie had 21. Jaren Jackson was good, too. But Detroit, Duren covers up so many rebounding issues this team has when he's in the lineup because he's an absolute monster most of the time, I'll admit, on the boards. If we think that Duren doesn't play, Sabonis might end up with 25 rebounds. Like, Sabonis might single-handedly dominate the entire glass in this game if Duren's out. So that's my one concern. Can Detroit overcome getting killed on the glass by that degree again while covering 6.5? That's what scares me. I'm hoping Duren plays. If Duren plays, I'll take Detroit -6.5. If he doesn't, I think I'm honestly passing. Or I'm taking Sabonis ladder rebounds because I don't know how they're going to grab a rebound on this team. Do you have any ideas? Because that was ugly. Edie, it's 21 rebounds last game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Detroit can grab a rebound if Duren doesn't play. So,
Oh yeah, I mean, it's Sabonis. You know how Sabonis get down, but I think that's the point of the game that you like. You're always gonna concede rebounds to him, but I think it's gonna be on the guards especially when you get a lot of the long, because I could see a lot of long range shots from the Kings here trying to put points on the board in a hurry, a lot of long rebounds, and that's where a Cade Cunningham comes in or in your guard position to kind of help out in that aspect. Like I think they'll be all right on the glass. It's definitely not the best matchup, but if Duren plays, it's amazing. But I just think that the fact that they're rolling Cade Cunningham out there, trying to get him going, it shows that they're trying to win. They're trying to win this game.
he
And
wants
Kings,
most improved. Dyson Daniels -1,000 now, I think.
oh wow, really?
I mean, to be honest, he should be because the award has lost the plot. If we're being honest, and Dyson Daniels deserves.
No,
it,
yeah,
so.
I mean it's better. There was a point where Evan Mobley, I was still rooting my Evan Mobley ticket, but
Yeah. Once again, that's a ticket. He was also a top 5 pick in the draft, so that's not what the award's meant for.
True.
I had a future on Cade to win most improved, but I'm happy, grand scheme of things, we're returning back to what the award's meant for.
Yeah.
So, point is though, Cade came back, so Detroit's clearly pushing for the 5, and I don't think the Kings can guard him. So,
and the Kings, I mean, the Kings are not locked in, but they're what them and who is the team under them? I can't even remember. It's one team.
Mavericks.
Yeah, they're like 3 games ahead of the Suns.
Yeah, the Suns basically need to win out, which is not going to
like
happen.
and people and they got to lose out. Like at this point, as soon as the Trailblazers were eliminated officially, it was like, all right,
they were
this field is basically set.
Yeah,
this field is basically set. So yeah, all right, we're both on Detroit.
I'm on Detroit if Duren plays. If not, I'll just take Sabonis rebounds.
There we go.
Sabonis really might end up with 25 if Duren doesn't play in this game.
Yeah, good spot. All right, let's close things out. Miami Heat going up against the Philadelphia 76ers. Oh, dog, the Heat are laying 13.5 here. It's went down, Scott. It's at 13.5.
I see 14.5.
Oh, there's 14.5s out there?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Unless it just updated because there was some injury news, potentially.
I'm shopping around. I'm seeing a
it's
number.
It's down to 13 now.
Okay, so it's at 13. Cool. 13.5. What's this? Totals at 213.5. Totals fluctuating too. It's up and down with this game. Books don't know what to do. Nobody knows what to do. If you think you know what to do, you probably don't know what to do. All right. Injury report. Justin Edwards, ribs, questionable. We've got Kyle Lowry, questionable with the hip injury. Andre Drummond is out. Kelly Oubre is out. Yabusele is out. We've got Bam Adebayo, questionable with back spasms.
He was the late ad, by the way, because he wasn't on the injury report last night.
Burks is questionable, lower back discomfort. We've got Tyler Hero, who is questionable with the thigh injury. Jesus Christ. We've got Haywood Highsmith, questionable with an Achilles injury. We got Andrew Wiggins, questionable with the hamstring. He's been out for a little minute. Jovic is still out. Kevin Love, I doubt Kevin Love is going to play again.
He's too busy on Instagram. Tremendous follow, though. Tremendous follow, but he's got a lot of time on his hands.
Definitely. He's having a ball. Like, he's literally just there on the bench having a ball. Can't wait to, you know how players, they immediately retire, hop on a podcast, talk about the things that they probably could have just talked about while they were a player. Yeah, I can't wait till Kevin Love recaps this season of the Miami Heat. That's the only recap I want to hear.
Like an animated short series, and they start showing Butler in animated form. Yeah,
I only want to hear from Kevin Love's perspective what happened with the Miami Heat this year. That is it. All right.
I don't know who's playing.
There's no way. I don't care. I do not care. When is? Let me look at the numbers of when the Heat have covered a spread by this number.
I mean, they've been better at it lately. I mean, they did beat the Sixers by 20-something like a week or two ago.
Yeah, but what was that number?
It was not 23. That's what they won by, so I know they covered that spread.
No, but like,
that wasn't a home game, I don't believe. I think that was a road game.
Let me see here. What is there? Like, what is the? I can't remember the last time I've seen them this large of favorites.
I mean, they beat the Wizards by like 30, but the Wizards are a fake team. Beat the Warriors in the Jimmy Butler revenge game by 26. And they beat the Hornets by 17. So there were a couple of games there where they actually showed up, but for the most part, not consistently enough with all the questionable tags for me to want to lay 13 now.
Okay, let me see here. Let's look up. Since 2021. That's about a good back to the bubble. Okay, they've been 14-point favorites 3 times, 16-point favorites once. Oh yeah, there's that Piston. I remember this game against the Pistons. The Pistons used to give them hell.
Every
Oh,
time.
the Pistons used to give them hell. Yeah, that was definitely an ATS loss. They did cover the 14 against the Trailblazers, the Raptors at home, and then they didn't cover against the Raptors one time as well. Oh, and those games were right next to each other. So that looked like that was in 2024. Yeah, that was probably a back-to-back game set. So they covered one, lost one. Yeah, all right. Nothing really there historical wise. Yeah, I'm just not gonna do it. I think the more likely thing for me, other than the Heat just doing what they're supposed to do and absolutely burying this team, is that the Heat play around with their food here.
And they might sit half the team.
Yeah, I can't.
I think I got to take the points. The Sixers have lost 11 straight. They've been intentionally punting games. But at the same point, you're looking at the lineup right now. Grimes is listed as active. Butler's been pretty good. Lonnie Walker's given them some okay minutes, and Bona's been okay lately. The Heat, I wonder what their lineup will be because Bam was a late add, which is not a good sign.
Yeah, not a good sign at all.
Hero missed the last game.
Probably
they almost won anyway. We'll see his thigh issue. We'll see what happens there. But if Hero and Bam sit in like a worst case scenario for Miami, I'm not laying 13.5. I love Pelle Larsson, but who's their point guard? You're going to use Davion Mitchell and just hope that they carry? Like, I know they're going to score in this game. The Sixers almost beat Minnesota. Ant had that crazy double-team three-pointer there to put the game on ice. But the point is, I think the Sixers can hang in there. It's a lot of points. I'll take the points, fading the team that might acknowledge how bad the Sixers are, and they're treating this game like it's a tune-up game or an exhibition, and they're sitting half the roster. Miami's clearly overlooking this team, as they should, but they might be extra, I'd say, careful with the health of their players, which might make it harder for them to cover. So give me the Sixers plus the points.
I agree with Chad. I think Ware's rebounds are good regardless of what lineup goes out there.
That was my YouTube play, so I already gave that.
Oh, it was? Oh, cool.
Yeah. I had the 9.5. It was like minus 118. It's up to minus 130.
Yeah. Rebounds sound good regardless of what happens, but definitely really good if Bam doesn't play. Yeah, I got nothing for the total here. I don't want any part of this game, honestly. I was actually very close to putting in under ticket on Bam if he played. It kind of makes me feel better about it if he actually does decide to go on with playing this game. And I might actually do it. Even though I know it's bad to bet Bam I was very much considering making Bam unders a play on my show.
Yeah, maybe his back acts up again and he quits in the first half.
That's kind of what I was hoping for. But all right. We're back. We didn't add the Pistons to the love list, but I'm so like if the Pistons play either the Bucks or the Pacers, there's no way I'm not having a money line win for them in a series.
Yeah, I think the one thing that scares me off about the Pistons is the lack of playoff experience, which you can argue might play a factor, might not. That might play a factor for Houston as well.
And JB's been so good with them, like he might.
No. I agree with you. I'm just saying that there is a potential concern about a lack of playoff experience, which could be a reason why people look to not back Detroit. But I like how the team's wired.
Yeah. All right. Lock dog. Over to you.
All right. So I am going to recycle. We only have 2 games. I'm going to go with Ware over the 9.5 rebounds at minus 130.
It's perfectly fine.
I liked it when Bam wasn't questionable for the game. He's played against the Sixers twice in the last 2 months. He had 13 rebounds and 14 rebounds. He played 30 minutes in that last game. They won by 20 and change, and he still had 14 rebounds. So I think he's going to play a decent amount in this game. Sixers have been the 3rd worst rebounding team in the league since the All-Star break. I see a bad matchup for the Sixers. Also, Bona can't really shoot, which should allow Ware to camp in the lane for rebounds. So we'll see if Bam plays or not, but I like it anyway. Give me Ware over the 9.5 rebounds for this game. For the dog, it really might come down to if I think Duren plays or not. Because I want to make a case for Sabonis rebounds. The problem is Sabonis rebounds right now are set at 12.5, so that's a great ladder opportunity potentially. But I really want to know if Duren's going to play. But I think it's worth gambling on because Sabonis is still an insane rebounder. He had 16 rebounds back-to-back games against the Pacers and against the Wizards. I'll swing for it. If Duren doesn't play, I feel really good about it. Give me Sabonis over 14.5 rebounds at plus 205.
All right. Lock. I gave out the team total over for the Pistons, by the way, Scott.
Okay.
In case you were wondering.
What was the number on that?
118.5.
Okay.
That's what I got it at. It might have. I wonder if it moved. Nope, still sitting there at 118.5. Yep.
Okay.
Pistons laying 6.5. Easy. For my dog. I really wanted to give out Cade double-double. Came just below the threshold, plus 135. Guess what that means, Scott? Just got to jump up. Got to jump. If you want it, you got to jump for it. Got to jump for it. Cade Cunningham, triple-double, 10-1.
Yeah. I mean, his minutes should get bumped up.
I think he's going to have a good game. I could have went soft, and I could have took the 45 plus points, rebounds, and assists at plus 155, but I just went for the triple-double. Because, again, the rebound aspect is very, very tough. If Duren doesn't play, I think they knew Duren wasn't playing last night, way before, actual today. And so they game plan. Cade's going to come up. Cade's going to grab a bunch of rebounds, and he might end up with a triple-double. So, yeah. Plus, by the way, Cade, number of triple-doubles this season, 9. Sabonis, number of triple-doubles this season, 9. Sabonis is 5-1, and Cade is 10-1.
Okay.
I'll take it. Let's see. So, there we go. Cade triple-double. That's my dog. Because I want nothing to do with the other game. Sorry. All right. Let's get into underdog. I can get down on Ware, though. I will admit that.
Well, we'll take the rebounds. Actually, you want to go double-double? Probably better price.
Oh.
I know it was 145 last night. I'm not sure what it is now, but...
Sorry, it's the one time every few months that Underdog signs me out. And it's
fine.
like, hey, is this actually you playing? You haven't logged in forever. You just keep opening up the phone. Here we go.
Use us for show content. You still there?
Hey, you still there?
Mm-hmm.
Like Netflix.
Yeah, pretty much. You still there? Still alive?
You all right? You good over there? All right, let's see here. Where double-double?
It's going to be spicy. I have to
No,
imagine.
It's not.
That's a robbery. I'll go with the rebounds and stuff.
The rebounds it's actually a little bit worse price. So it's 0.91. The rebounds is 0.92.
Okay. Sure. Thanks.
Let's see here. I do think so. I like Cade. I like Malik Beasley. I think.
Well, we know the Kings can't guard the 3-point line, but I saw Beasley was a 3.5 for threes. I didn't mind Cade threes actually, which are a 1.5.
Yeah.
The volume's not amazing, but 1.5 is really not a lot against one of the worst 3-point defenses in the league.
And he's gonna put up points today.
He's gonna have to. I thought he looked good in his first game.
It's 0.93. What is with all these? Yo, Underdog, what's going on? Let's just take Cade points. He's gonna score.
All right, that's fine. I mean, unless you wanted PRA because you wanted the triple-double. So...
No, because it's 0.92 for 40.5 PRA. I mean, I could buy it up, but we'll just go with the points. I feel fine.
Okay.
Fine. I think Cade's gonna go over a bunch. Let's see here. And I mean, do we just go chalk and just go Sabonis?
Yeah, I think I'll go Sabonis rebound.
We could, yeah.
I mean, Edey just had 21. I can't ignore that. They gave up 64 rebounds to Memphis.
I will admit, I see Valanciunas here. I think there's an angle where Valanciunas it's at 3.5. I think there's an angle he could get to 5, 6.
We're talking about assists, or we're talking about
rebounds coming off the bench. Even if Duren does play, especially if Duren doesn't play,
he's not playing against Duren on the bench unit anyway. So
I mean, no, we don't have to play that right now, but I was just throwing it out there for the people. Like at the end of the day, if you see Valanciunas with like 5 rebounds and he has like a 6-5 game or something like that, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, he played 5 minutes against Cleveland, but Cleveland's just a bad matchup. Had 7 rebounds in 19 minutes against Charlotte, 6 rebounds in 13 minutes against Washington. You might be onto something, honestly.
Yeah.
It is a back-to-back, and he only played 5 minutes. I actually kind of like Valanciunas there.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. I'm gonna play him. I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna. Let me see what it looks like if I buy it up.
He looks like Travis Kelce. That's what he looks like. Who do you think's a better doppelganger, though? Him for Travis Kelce or Ashton Kutcher for Kyle Korver?
Oh, dude, the Ashton Kutcher.
I was always a Korver Kutcher.
Yeah, the Ashton Kutcher Kyle Korver thing is pretty funny. All right, so you can take it regular with 3.5. They don't have 4.5 spicy, which sucks because that's exactly what I was looking for. They go straight to 5.5. So 3.5. If you take higher, 3.5 rebounds, higher to 26.5 points, and higher 9.5 rebounds for I'm sorry, that's 26.5 points for Cade Cunningham and 3.5 rebounds for Jonas Valanciunas. That'll get you 4.91x. But you can go up. You can get a little spicy with it, get some better price. But that's where it's at right now. Head over there.
It's only 2 games.
It's only 2 games. It's fine. It's only 2 games. Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use that promo code SGP NBA SGPN NBA SGPN. Scott, anything else for people before we get up out of here?
No, we'll have more games tomorrow. Of course, we'll have a national champion in college basketball tonight. So hopefully the game's pretty good. But I know we'll be back tomorrow. So more games to talk about and looking forward to it.
All right. He's at Red Show Radio. I'm at __. Make sure you give us a follow at SGPN NBA, youtube.com/NBA Gambling Podcast. And make sure you give us a like on the video for your way out, comment, all of that stuff. And also, hey, head over there to Spotify. Give us a 5-star rating and review, by the way. All right. With that, no, we went a little bit long. We gave you a lot of talk. We gave you even a little bit of WNBA talk in there too. Like, come on now.
I'm so happy how they handled the draft, by the way. I hate the NFL draft. You have to wait 3 months for them to actually
do bro. The yeah, a month.
It's
like
insane.
It's next week. It's next week. Yes.
WNBA is like, oh, the season's ended. Cool, week.
And I get the teams. I get the teams that do their due diligence and all of that. But like, it's so long until the NFL draft. Like, come on. All right. How much look do you have to do? If you don't know now, you're never going to know. That's what my teacher used to say. That's what my teacher used to say. He was like, hey, if you don't know it now, you ain't never going to know. Just take the test.
That's when you guess C on the Scantron.
And you start making a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
All right. With that, nothing else to say. Nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just going to do like this. We are out of here.